as they head off of turn number 4 onto the front straightaway. Zach Johnson, he will lead the field to green. Brightman to his outside, but now ducks down to the bottom, side by side for second as Greg Johnson throws his nose in there. No drag race off turn 2.
Greg Johnson looking to catch up to his son, Zach Johnson, as they will roll into 3, working into 4. Greg on the bottom, Zach in the middle. Lap 1 will go to Zach the Jet Johnson, not by a lot though. Greg Johnson right behind him.
Father and son duo at the front of the field. Greg Johnson at the bottom of the racetrack. Zach Johnson up top, down the back straightaway, staying wheel to wheel. They continue to fight it out for the top spot farther back. Chris, a couple of good battles ongoing from second or third on back.
Not the first time we saw this battle for first and second between the two Johnsons, father-son duo. Back on the first week we had racing, May 25th, Greg Johnson beat his son Zach Johnson on the last couple laps to win the feature.
Here they come up off turn number 4, back onto the front straightaway. Zach Johnson continuing to lead the way. Greg Johnson rides in second, and now Troy Johnson in third. 1, 2, 3 trio at the front of the field of the Johnson family, and they're side by side, Troy and Greg are, as they head back into turn 3 and 4.
3 Johnsons battling it out for that first place position, but it is still Zach Johnson. But move Troy Johnson up into second place, makes it official at the line.
So Troy Johnson working hard on that high side. He's digging for second, check mark. Now he's going to try to dig for first. He gets to the back bumper of Zach as they head through 3 and 4. He again rides about a groove higher as they lead off of turn 4 and down the front straightaway.
Troy Johnson with a very fast machine these last couple of weeks, coming off of a win, looking to make it back-to-back for the first time this season as he has a run down the outside, down the back straightaway.
Greg Johnson, he surrenders, that is Zach Johnson. He surrenders. Troy Johnson to the high side and to the race lead off turn 4.
Troy. A lot of Johnsons in that top 3 get a little mixed up, but Troy Johnson is your new race leader, trying to hold off Zach and Greg Johnson. 3 Johnsons in your top 3.
So Troy Johnson now finds himself at the front of the field all alone, already working through some lap traffic. Good battle here, starting to pick up for second as Greg Johnson in the 05 gets to the back bumper of Zach Johnson off turn 4, but Zach Johnson opens it back up to about a car length and a half, maybe 2 down the back straightaway.
Troy Johnson gets around Christopher DePontier with ease, extending that 7-car length lead over Zach Johnson in a very good cushion with 8 laps down.
Farther back, a good battle there as the 14R of CJ Ramsey. He's to the inside of the 32 machine of Timothy Rockwell. Those cars continue to battle it out for position farther on back. No love given between any of the drivers farther back in this pack, but up front, everybody, Chris, is still chasing Troy Johnson.
Yes, they are, and Greg and Zach Johnson having a little bit of issue getting around Christopher DePontier in that 50 machine, getting lapped earlier in the race by Troy Johnson.
Field just gets the halfway signal from the flag stand. 10 laps to go, and again, more good battles farther back around the midpoint of this pack. Brady Westfall, he's involved in a good battle, 3 wide momentarily off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Rockwell, Ramsey, everybody involved in this battle farther back, and it's a good one.
It is all Troy Johnson up to this point, trying to work around that 13 machine of Devin Dudenhoser. And he does clear it for lap traffic.
Troy Johnson gets around the lap machine as he is nicely and methodically working himself around lap traffic cars and continuing to gap the field. He has put a lot of distance between him and Zach Johnson, who rides in second. Greg still back there in third, and it continues to be a wad of cars farther on back outside the top 5.
All Troy Johnson up to this point, catching up to the 19 of Tommy Kaczynski with 15 laps down for Troy Johnson.
Troy Johnson continues to lead away. He has over a straightaway advantage over the 105 of Zach Johnson and the 05 of Greg Johnson. Those two cars continue to battle it out for the second spot, kind of staying stuck to where they're at. Oh, trouble off turn number 2. One car goes around and everybody scatters to the high side to avoid the 16 of Brightman as he went around. Jason Brightman loops it around. That's going to bring out the yellow flag.
The edge of our seats up here. Green flags in the air. We're underway. Troy Johnson with a outstanding start to this 4-lap dash, like Nate said earlier, as they enter in the back straightaway. We have trouble coming into 2. It looks like the 105 of Zach Johnson involved, who is currently sitting second.
Yeah, Zach Johnson goes around in that 105, and a big pileup ensues behind him. A couple of cars get collected in this one. Again, the 16 of Jason Brightmore back onto the front straightaway. Green flag goes back in the air with 4 laps to go. Greg Johnson right there, the 07 of Tim Peterson as well. Greg Johnson is to the inside of Troy down the back straightaway. Troy
Johnson getting a 1-car length advantage over Greg Johnson, as we will soon have 3 laps to go here in this UMP modified feature, with Troy Johnson extending that length to 2-car length.
Troy Johnson continues to lead the way. Oh, trouble in turn 1. One car catches the tractor tire on the inside. That's going to bring out the yellow flag again here, as there are 3 laps to go, as the car, I believe the car that caught that tractor tire down there is the 225 of Bud Watson. I don't see him, Chris, rolling around the racetrack under the caution flag, and those colors down there match the 225 of Bud Watson, as he has got a lot of damage on both sides of that race car, as the safety crews quickly attend to him. The tractor tire now just getting pushed back into its position, but Chris, another yellow in the control car. Greg Johnson behind him. Tim Peterson in third. Green flag goes back in the air. A great launch by Troy Johnson as he leads the field back into 1 and 2. And on the inside in that 07P, Tim Peterson taking a stab at second.
2 laps to go. Troy Johnson with a 2-car length lead over Greg Johnson. Not related, by the way. We just got word a little bit ago. The yellow is out.
Yellow flag goes back in the air. 1 car goes around over in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Flag, as he has done much of the night. Off turn 4, green flag flies again. Troy Johnson launches out to the race lead, and picking up where they left off before that last caution, it is Tim Peterson to the inside of Greg Johnson down the, oh, trouble off turn 2. A couple of cars go around, and it's the 2 this time, the 2W of Brady Westfall. Yellow flag goes in the air. Couple of cars that were around that area also got some damage, but another restart. 4th one with 3 laps to go, and it is Troy Johnson again, launching out to the race league. Greg Johnson right behind him, tucked up behind his tire tracks, but losing touch off turn 2.
Troy Johnson extending his length to about 3 car lengths between him and Greg Johnson, as they will roll into 4. Sticks Williams gives him the 2 to go for Troy Johnson.
Troy Johnson sees the 2 to go, and he has got a sigh of relief behind that wheel. Finally, the closing laps here for Troy Johnson, and he is long gone, all by his lonesome off turn 4, coming to the white flag.
White flag is in the air one more time around for Troy Johnson. Does Greg Johnson have enough left in the tank to figure it out to catch him as they go down the back straightaway one last time? Take us home, Nate.
Troy Johnson heads down the back straightaway for the final time into 3 and 4. He will go. Nothing to worry about. Out the back off turn 4. 4 checkered flags being displayed. Troy Johnson is going to score the victory. Greg Johnson across the line in second. Tim Peterson rounds out your top 3. Then you have C.J. Ramsey in the 14R finishing 4th. The 32 of Timothy Rockwell finishing in the 5th position, but Troy Johnson scoring the victory. He'll hit the scales, he'll make it to victory lane, and we will have that covered when he comes back out on the racetrack.
Exiting his car now for a 2nd week in a row, the 2J of Troy Johnson. Troy, you started 6th, ended 1st. How's it feel?
Feels pretty good. I mean, racetrack's really nice, to my liking anyhow, because I'm old and slow, so that's the way it should be for me.
Well, you're not that old because a little birdie told me today was your birthday.
It is. I'm 62 today, and well, that's enough of that shit. I'd like to thank Bruce and Bruce from Martin Dynamics. We got to get on their stuff, and I feel bad but their stuff is really good. Good night.
Well, Troy, you got 2 already this season. We looking for a 3rd anytime soon?
Yep, when the Bills win a Super Bowl, baby.
Which might never happen. Go Steelers. But what a way to celebrate your birthday, Troy. Congratulations.